Welcome to Athens, Greece, in a very difficult situation for all the countries outside Athens, Greece. For some reason, for the first time, we are not the center of the media, and we feel a bit isolated, fortunately, I should say, even though in the past we didn't have the problems that the others have. And as I said to someone in the corridor, terrorism does not prefer specific countries. It's everywhere. So you can see what happens in the United States, France, and other countries as well. So it's a problem that you cannot solve by traveling or non-traveling, because some people fear. And even though Athens is not affected, a lot of our participants, they are skeptical, because fear is something that you cannot change. Even though traffic accidents in Athens is number one killer in the United States as well, nevertheless, terrorism makes people to fear. Now, let's say a few words about the Athens Institute, and then Professor Poulos will make a more, our Vice President will make a more formal introduction of our association. I always say that the reason why we call institute our association, actually we're an association of academics and researchers with a mission, an international association, with a mission to make Athens a place where people can come from all over the world, meet in Athens and change ideas about present and future development of their district. So in other words, the reason that we use the institute is different because it's our academic members, especially those that they don't live in Athens, because we're an international association. They wanted to have a base so they can come either for sabbatical or they can apply for extra funding. They thought the word association reduces their probability to get funding or get permission for a sabbatical. So it's this law, I should say instinct, that forced us to use the word institute, even though it creates some confusion instead of association. But in practice, for all practical purposes, we're a world association of academics and researchers. We have more than 2,000 members coming from 150 countries. And what we do is on our mission and on our voice. Unlike many other associations or institutes in Greece, we follow what we are saying. Sometimes it's not good for the participants because we don't change our minds when we play the game of organizing a conference. So it's very important for you and for all our members to understand that what we expect from our events. Also, I should mention that our mission of making Athens a place where people can come from all over the world is served when we organize small events. There are logistical reasons as well, but it serves very well our mission when we organize small events with no parallel sessions. But it helps the environment of Athens helps to organize small events as well. Not only our mission, but the whole surrounding. Just for practical purposes, if we had a conference, let's say, with 1,000 people, we cannot accommodate. It's as simple as that. There is no hotel in downtown Athens that can accommodate 1,000 people. Actually, there is no hotel in downtown Athens that can accommodate more than 200 people. So right away, you have a constraint that you cannot organize, even if you wanted, big events, because there's no infrastructure to support, especially there are no classrooms in this hotel. They don't have more than 4 decent or 5 decent rooms to organize your lecture. Now, the question is, can you become a member? Yes, you can become a member, and since you have paid a very expensive fee, we waive off the expensive fee to become a member. Now, I suggest, because people, out of their enthusiasm, they become members right away, they sign, and then they forget. I suggest it's better to think if you want to become a member, if you want to be an active member or an inactive member. Active member means if you want to help us, pending that you like what we are doing, and of course you have the time to help us, because some people, when they are during the summer, they think they have the same time as during the winter. And helping us can be done either here, like coming here to Athens, or you can do it from your own country. Especially, we need a lot of help in reviewing papers, because 2 or 3 years ago we started this e-journal publishing, and even though we have 6,000 people that ask to help us with reviewing, when it comes to actual reviewing, they delay the process. And of course, we want to improve as well. They say, yes, yes, I'm going to review the paper, and then when we send something, they say, now I'm very busy, or it's not in my area of research, even though we ask them, you know, some colleagues that they are relevant to the subject, please help us. Because reviewing is the most important thing for Atiner, because what could be remembered is the publication and not your speech. So we want to make sure whatever is uploaded as our publication, it meets certain basic scientific criteria, which is, of course, to have an introduction, to have a review of the literature, to have a methodology, to answer the questions using your methodology and have some conclusion. This I have discussed with all disciplines. It's a good paper. It's not easy to have these components, but we need the reviewers to check that, because we cannot do it on call. Now, I'm not going to say more. Those that will come to the Greek night, I'll be there even earlier if you want to discuss a few things. I'll ask Professor Poulos to make a more formal presentation of our association, and then we'll start our conferences. Thank you very much. The most important thing I forgot, now that I saw them. Academics, you know, even though they think that they know how to manage things, imagine the professor of management, how they think about managing things. Unfortunately, they're not good. So we have people here, when it comes to the logistics of the conference, the administration of the conference, please do not ask me. Do not ask Professor Poulos. If you prefer women, we have Olga. If you prefer men, we have Vasilis. So they're going to be here till the end. So please ask them when it comes to the logistics and the administration of the thing, because most probably, and administration means, can you tell me the time that the vote departs? I mean, you know this is an international conference, you know the accent problem, so it's better if you have it in writing from people that they have the responsibility for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, good morning from me, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Athens Institute for Education and Research. I'd like to also welcome you to this conference. I'm going to kick off by saying a few words about the Institute. Atiner was established in 1995, and its mission is to act as a forum where academics and researchers from all over the world can come together to this historic cradle of democracy, Athens, in order to exchange ideas on their research, interact with each other, to discuss future developments in their disciplines, in an environment of respect for each other's opinions and beliefs. After all, the free expression of one's opinions formed the basis for the development of democracy. As it turned out, the golden age, Athens was in fact the golden age of Western civilization. Education, searching, or researching the truth are the pillars of any free democratic society. And this is the reason why education and research are the two core words in Atiner's name. It is Atiner's mission to revive the glory of ancient Athens by inviting all academic leaders of the city. Over 95% of our members are from institutions outside Greece, and our conferences are designed in such a way as to cater mainly for foreign academics. Basic activities of Atiner include, firstly, the organizing and hosting of international symposiums and conferences, such as this one, carrying out of research, and finally, the production of various publications. These are the three cornerstones that drive the Institute service. And as you'll note, in the course of this conference, cross-discipline sessions have been arranged to address and accommodate the importance of interdisciplinary research in this globalized world that we live in. Since 1995, Atiner has organized more than 400 international conferences and other events, and has published close to 200 books. Atiner has also organized numerous roundtable discussions and public speeches on topical issues. For a list of these, you may consult Athens' website. The Institute is also currently involved in an ambitious project regarding the proposed establishment of an academic village. The aim is to establish a community of research scholars and academics, and the proposed village will include a conference center, living facilities, as well as facilities for research and recreation. And you'll find more information on this in the file. Now, turning to today's activities, formal activities, you should each have a program by now. You'll note that in some instances, a parallel session may have been arranged, and you'll of course choose which session to go to. Please also note, and this is very important, that each presentation is limited to 15 minutes. The chairperson will keep time and will use a 3 and 1 minute reminder cards. I'd like to ask the chairs to adhere strictly to the time constraints. Please allow for questions and discussion after all the papers have been presented and not after each paper. The chairpersons must also fill in the report forms that they will be receiving. This is important because the final program will be based on the chairperson's reports. Should you need to make use of technical facilities in your presentation, please confirm that everything is in order before the session begins and not during the session. There will always be someone from the admin staff to help you in this regard. And of course, there will also be a coffee break between sessions. Right, turning to a much lighter note, the social program. You should also have the social program in your file. There's the Greek night tonight, which is of course pretty recommended. Apart from Greek cuisine, there'll be lots of Greek music and dancing, of course you'll be invited to join in if you like. And then the formal dinner tomorrow night is for private events. They're organized by Atiner exclusively, conference delegates and their accompanying persons. Then there's the open walk tomorrow, followed by the cruise to selected islands on Wednesday and the visit to the ancient site of the Alfield Thursday. Right, coming back to more formal activities, I just want to say a few words on publications. The Institute is involved with various publications. Firstly, there are the abstracts, which are published. You're well aware that some institutions in the world treat abstracts as formal publications. They have their own ISBN number and can of course be cited. Secondly, the papers that are presented at this conference will be placed on the web as part of an online paper series. Once the editing of the papers has been attended to, and once of course you also approve of their material on the web. These papers will have their own ISSN number and can of course also be cited. The purpose of this publication series is to firstly disseminate the information in your paper as quickly as possible, and secondly to allow for feedback in case you wish to make amendments before you submit your paper for publication. With regard to book publications, you'll receive an email soon after the conference asking you for a final draft for publication consideration and any other information that may be relevant. All papers that are submitted should go through a referee process before they're considered for publication. And then finally, Atiner also has its own journal series which commenced in 2014. We currently have 15 journals which cover various disciplines including laws. Papers submitted for the journals go through a double-blind peer review process which is monitored by an editorial board. Our acceptance rate currently is less than 25%. Atiner does not charge any processing fee. Right, on the issue of collaboration, we at Atiner would also like to collaborate with other institutions such as the ones that we're associated with. Academics, researchers and institutes invite us to collaborate with our institute on research and education projects. If you're not yet a member of the institute, we'd like you to join and to assist with the reviewing and editing of papers. We're also encouraged to collaborate at future conferences by submitting proposals for special panel discussions on a theme related to your own specific research. Academics and researchers interested in your theme will then be invited to participate in the special panel discussion which you yourself will chair. We also have a visiting fellow, visiting researcher program, and for more information you can visit Athens' website. Right, finally, academic colleagues, as is clear from the program, You come from many different countries. We at Atiner would sincerely hope that you will make the most of this opportunity to interact with each other, that you'll enjoy this conference, that you'll go back home, excuse me, with fond memories not only of this conference, but of Athens and of Greece, and most of all, you'll want to come back to your future conferences. Thank you very much. Enjoy the conference. And I'd like chairs to take positions for the first session on the top, with the last resources.